So here we go, my Mark III Focus RS against a family member's Mark III ST line, the 1.5. I just kind of want to compare both these two cars. Yeah, show you guys a drive on them both, and just to show you kind of like the differences of the inside and the outside. Now, as much as I love my RS edition, my Mark III, I'm actually going to start with the ST line and sort of show you a bit of the inside and kind of compare them. Both 5 doors, both have some sort of a wing, but not masses. This one's got a little wing. 1.5 litre 4-cylinder in that, 2.3 litre in this car. But I know it's loud, so let's go inside. Inside, this is the interior. So you've got these sort of like ST line type seats, quite soft and hugging, but yeah, normal Focus. And actually one of the real interesting things is actually like the gear stick is quite similar. A lot of it is very, very nice. You know, it's a Ford Focus, it's a family practical car. What more can you want, really? And you know, if we compare it briefly under the hood, just while I've got a second. So to open the bonnet in a Focus, you've got a double pull this, and you go round, and if I remember the catch, it's here. There you go. Open her up. Well, my dad needs to clean out the leaves of the car, put it that way. But 1.5 litre 4-cylinder, same from the Fiesta ST, the Mark 7, plenty punchy, about 150 odd horsepower. Yeah, I can't believe the leaves. But yeah, that's what that is. I'm going to keep that up because I think you guys want to see the RS a little bit more. Excuse the wind, but inside my RS, 5-door as well, you've obviously got the Recaro buckets in mine, completely different, a lot more colour, a lot more feel, you know, similar sort of gear stick a little bit, but it's a little bit shorter and lower. Yeah, for me it's a more special place, you know, with just a few little touches with the top. This is the top of the range kind of the Mark III Focus. But yeah, I haven't actually opened the bonnet yet ever in this car, so yeah, let's do that and show you what I mean. Obviously I'll get like carbon fibre as well in this, so it's pretty full on. One thing I haven't actually mentioned either yet, check these out. Can you see the little door edge protectors there? I think that's an amazing feature, just protects this blue paintwork, which is nice. Yeah, you get the RS seals here. Oh, it's so nice, it feels so nice. I can't believe I own this car. I cannot believe I own this car. So yeah, I'm filming this in January, by the way, so double pull on the bonnet in exact same way. Mine's got the bonnet vents, which are not normally on this car, and if we open her up, yeah, slightly different. 2.3 litre 4-cylinder Ecoboost. Mine's got a few mods with the Revo Stage Tune, and you can see that's different, that's different. But similar philosophies. Stock, this is about 350 horsepower, whereas that's 150. Mine's about 400 to 440, so it's a lot more full on. But yeah, there you go. I mean, you've got chalk and cheese really, but I love them both. I think they both have their own purpose, and actually it's great to kind of have them both in the family. And yeah, I'm very much happy with that, and I'm sure my dad is very happy with that, and I can see why I went for this car. I really can. Again, excuse any of the noise, but let's finish this one off with a drive. Let's start with this car and we can go from there. One thing I want to say is both are 5-door, so if you open them up, you've got space in the back, and it's the exact same with mine, but you've got the door edge protectors as well. It's a bit better quality in here with the leather seats, that's one thing I will say, and you've got the Recaro backs. Under the actual hood, if I show you that, my car actually has slightly less boot space, simply because of the 4-wheel drive system underneath it, whereas if you compare that to my dad's car, it's got a lot more space, so it goes a little bit further down, so you get like a tiny bit more practicality. But essentially that's the two cars, and I have driven probably about 100, maybe 200 miles in this car, so I know a little bit about it. I've actually probably driven it more than the RS at this point, so that's going to be super interesting just to take this one out. But yeah, if we shut this one up as well, nice and easy, definitely shut. let's take this for a drive and we'll compare the two. I know it's a bit of a funny test, but you know, hey, that's what life's about. So I've spent a couple of 100 miles in this car previously, but yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've kind of been in it in quite a while. Comparing this to the Focus RS is like chalk and cheese. Obviously both Mark IIIs, but so much more comfortable. The gearing feels so much longer. I know mine has a short shifter. Yeah, actually a lot of it feels quite similar, a little bit more plasticky actually though. I think mine has a little bit better quality to it in some ways, and the wheels quite similar. The clutch, even though it's the 6-speed manual, and actually even the gear stick looks quite similar, it's so much higher. In terms of actual speed, there's not actually, like, it's not a slow car, you know. That 1.5 litre engine, it's detuned from the 1.6 that was in the Fiesta ST, the Mark 7. And this is kind of why I went and purchased this car, to be honest with you, because I thought it was a little bit of a niche kind of car. Plenty quick enough, you know, and the thing is you can get 50 mpg. The big thing as well, this car is a fair bit lighter than my RS without just being the front wheel drive, and you can kind of feel that in the turns. Steering's very light, obviously no modes to play around with, seats don't hug you in as much. Yeah, pretty much kind of all the things, yeah, that I've kind of mentioned before, but a lot of it is similar. Obviously it just doesn't have the speed or the torque in every gear. You've kind of got to rev it out, but around sort of like 150 horsepower, it's not slow. It's certainly okay, which is good. I think is like a everyday car, and I can see why I went for this car and it was going to replace my Golf R, because it just does everything. I mean, we've got a Mark III in front of us now, just a 13 plate one, so that's a pre-facelift, whereas mine and the RS, or obviously this and the RS are the facelift. But yeah, if you want just like a normal car, I'm not going to say this is anything like an RS, but this is certainly closer than, say, like a base Focus, say like the one in front. I think the looks of the ST line's better. The suspension is slightly firmer than, say, like your normal one, so that's good. It just makes it a little bit better in the corners. And I like the engine, you know, 4-cylinder. I liked it in the Fiesta ST. You get a little bit of less weight as well, which is pretty good. Yeah, and obviously it's got its benefits quite a lot. But yeah, we've got a roundabout here, so I'll try to show you what I mean in a second. If we just go around, yeah, it's just like, it doesn't quite it rolls a bit more, but it's good, and the steering still has that sort of like normal feel. Yeah, and you get the shift lights, everything is very similar on that regards. And I'm not too sure why the display keeps coming on. Mine sort of has it off all the time, so I'm not too sure why that's happened. Yeah, so I can really recommend this car. I know it's kind of like a short, brief little drive of it, but it has the same sort of ethos of what Fords are like. And I think if you want to get even obviously closer to the RS, you'd get a full fat ST. You get the 2 litre, or obviously get the RS. But I do feel that this car, if you can look them up, you know, look for that 1.5, because they did it in the Mark IV as well. They did the 1.5 3-cylinder from the Mark 8 generation of the Fiesta ST. So a Fiesta ST engine in a Focus is actually really, really cool, and I just love it, and that's why I kind of wanted to do this little comparison. And yeah, plenty of benefits to this car, plenty of benefits, lots to like. Certainly the refinement, it is quieter, and I think it looks all right as well. That's the drive on this car. So you join me in the exact same location in the RS. I literally can't stop laughing. It's so much different, so much louder, so much firmer, so much more me. Oh my god. I mean, I'm so glad I didn't really go fully ahead with that ST line, and it now belongs to a family member. Yeah, this is slightly it doesn't feel anything like the car I've just been in, I'm not gonna lie. Literally doesn't feel anything like it. I mean, the short shifter is so much different than the long throw in that car. There's power everywhere. I much prefer the interior, I much prefer the seats. It's obviously noticeably firmer. Yeah, because I literally just driven the 1.5. For me, this is an amazing car, but I will have to stress, this car is obviously in a completely different league in price. You know, I'm fairly confident my family members' cars, we've got a police car. Shit. My family member's car is, well, it's probably worth about a third of what this is worth, if not a little bit less. And yeah, you're still getting a Focus, you're still getting a Mark III. This is like, it's so brilliant. I do like how in that car you still get a manual box, so it's not like it's too bad. But yeah, on this, it's so engaging. The steering is so much more focused. The front end, everything about this car, I just absolutely adore. And I'm pretty sure you're going to say that. The sound system is better as well, because I've compared the two. I have not really driven this car on a motorway drive yet, so I can't really compare, but I can imagine refinement is not going to be quite as good. But yeah, if I take it around this exact same roundabout, I mean, look how much more I can lean on it. Look at that. It's nothing for the car. I mean, that was easy. So that gives you straight away an idea of what that suspension is actually doing, what the front end is like, what the four-wheel drive is like. Even though it is a heavier car, it's just like, it's so good. Yeah, I just can't really I can't get it up. I'm literally 10 miles away from 60,000 mile mark, actually, 59,990. So I'll be heading over 60,000 today. My dad's car's actually on, it's on 38,000, even though it's a 16 plate, this being a late 18. So yeah, I suppose that car's still got its engine to kind of really get sorted and sort of bedded in, whereas this is pretty much fully there. What else is different? I mean, I can't really explain too much else on sort of like the drive. You know, other than that, you know, it's firmer, it's more me, and it feels more special. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think they did do updates on the facelift, because it feels like there's a bit better quality just all round. Yeah, it's a lovely car. Yeah, what a special piece of kit. But yeah, winner is the RS for me. But interested to know what you guys think in the comments as we get behind this car. And this isn't even in sport mode, this is just in normal. It's a special car and I'm grateful to have it, really am, but interested to compare the two for sure.